5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to The Realest Podcast, and welcome to April 11th, 2017 Smackdown Live Review, and a happy birthday to the part-timer Kyle Lepore. If he is listening to this, happy birthday, man. Joined by Andrew Bass, as always. I promise you, tonight's show will be better than last night. I don't know what was into me. I just wasn't feeling it last night. It was one of those nights. We finally kind of got the, hey guys, what's up, Jamie? Michael Edger, Charlotte, New Day, Sammy Owens, Rusev, and in a debuting Lana Taming, Let's Go SmackDown fucking won. Yeah, I would have to agree that SmackDown got the better end of this. I think, the only big loss that I will say that SmackDown is going to be really missing is Miz. I do think that Miz is going to be missed from SmackDown. He had so much momentum, and I hate that he is on Raw. That is one thing that I do hate. I do think Alexa Bliss being on SmackDown or on Raw now is a good thing. Something new for her. No major stars, really. Just a bunch of the mid-carders, and I mean, we also have the New Day, which I think is something that New Day needed, was a change. Obviously, them and the Usos could be feuding in the future for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and I wouldn't mind that. Something refreshing, even though these guys have feuded a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because it's like I kind of like watched SmackDown and it's gotten to the point where Miz was like a big part of it, and it's sad to see him go. But I mean, when you look at the talent that we kind of got in return, it almost feels like it's worth it. I mean, scrap Jinder Mahal. I mean, we're not really excited about that. But we got Charlotte on SmackDown. Tamina's finally back. For those of them, those fans are excited for Tamina. I really want to see what she has to offer after all this time off. It's just with Shinsuke and Ty and
What's sad is I forgot all about
the New Day. Yeah,
I really did forget all about them.
well, we had the Shining Stars too, and they seemed a little bit hard hit.
I want to say this about the Shining Stars. That was a great way to debut, especially with how bad they've been. Solid way creatively to have them debut on the SmackDown roster by doing that.
Well, how do you? Look, it's SmackDown. What do you expect from it? I mean, they know how to treat their talent, and it's not that the Shining Stars suck. It's just that the way they were booked makes them look terrible. I mean, they were the travel agents. Now they actually look like guys who are coming in and ready to make some waves in the company.
Jamie in the chat says the big game changer being Sin Cara. You get. I thought he was a part of the cruiserweights, but I guess they're just gonna do whatever they want to do. So I mean, who cares at this point? Shining Stars will be big. Just saying it now. Why put Sin Cara on Raw and Sin Cara or Kalisto on Raw and Sin Cara on SmackDown? I would assume to split them up, to keep them split up. That's just me.
Yeah, because if they're on the same roster, people are gonna wonder if they're gonna get back together. And honestly, I mean, like I understand what they're trying to do, try to keep them apart, but they're pretty much better off as a tag team, in my opinion.
Kalisto has done nothing as a singles competitor. I said it last night. Apollo Crews leaving was very good. I'm glad that he's finally going to be doing something on his own. Jamie says Kalisto would do better in the cruiserweight division. Oh, we thought the same thing about Sin Cara. Sin Cara didn't do he did absolutely nothing in the cruiserweights. And Jamie also says that a downside of tonight's show was 100% Mojo Rally. Like I've said, I've never been a fan of Mojo. I don't understand why people are behind him. Never have I ever been a fan of Mojo Rally. Never will I ever be a fan of Mojo Rally. I've never thought that he was good. I've always thought that he was very annoying. And I hate that you have somebody like JBL, the bully himself, is backing him up, which there's a lot to talk about that with the bully little
The bully story.
The bully story going on right now. The only thing I will say is he's an old time guy, and I'm not gonna say that I support bullying. I don't, but that's just what they did back in those days. Now a lot of the things that he's doing is absolutely terrible, and if this is the reason why Mauro Ranallo is no longer a part of SmackDown, then that is awful. And I also want to say, I have said it every single night, every time I watch Raw, that I hate Byron Saxton. Saxton did not annoy me today. He annoyed me.
I don't know what it was.
He annoyed me one time when he said something about the New Day. That is when he tried to. That's when he did annoy me. JBL was trying to act more nice and relatable tonight. He didn't insult Byron Saxton. I think he changed. No, I think I think he's not going to go after anybody, especially with the bully stuff going around. Because
I mean, well, he's supposed to be a heel commentator, but they're probably telling him to kind of stay face for now.
I wouldn't even say stay face, but not go after the other commentators with everything that's going on, because literally, it's barely picking up by the mainstream media right now. Otunga versus Graves on Raw. Corey and Otunga will have a hilarious argument. Otunga kind of grew on me. He was really bad at first, but Otunga kind of grew on me. Him and JBL never really had the chemistry. I've also been on to say that Byron Saxton in NXT wasn't that bad. I didn't think that Saxton was that bad at NXT. I thought him and Corey Graves were really good. I even said when Corey Graves got drafted to Raw that this could be good for Byron Saxton. But tonight, Saxton didn't do bad. I don't know what it is, I know that Saxton alone has really kind of hurt Bailey, the character Bailey, for me, just by what he says.
The wacky, inflatable, wheeling Bailey buddies.
Jamie in a Vince voice. John, smile more. Remember, be a star.
Oh man. Yeah. There was that promo between Shinsuke and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking forward for that.
Didn't I say that that's who Shinsuke should go after first? I'm not mistaken, I said that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said that right off the bat. I mean, it's a good feud. I mean, they're going to make a great match. Great match.
Yeah, if Dolph can do it, I think he absolutely can. Absolutely.
He can do it.
Yeah, he can. I think he can. It's just, the matter of time. If it's just the fact of if he will. And another thing is, I think Sami Zayn being on SmackDown is a great move, but again, they need to push him. I honestly thought tonight he would kind of steal a win more than anything, but I will say I'm not a fan of AJ being a number one contender for the U.S. title. I'm not a fan of that. Why put AJ at a mid-card title when he was just holding the main, your main title? Makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're getting at. I thought their creative plans were to have him and Orton feud, because that's something that both of them have gone out and stated that they wanted to try somewhere down the road. But, I don't know, man. AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
Wait, what tag team? What does SmackDown have tag team wise?
Okay, so they have American Alpha. They have the Usos.
Shining Stars.
They have the Shining Stars.
New Day.
The New Day.
That's right, because the Vaudevillains aren't a thing anymore.
The Vaudevillains are no longer a thing.
Simon Gotch finally got released. I'm surprised it took him this long to get released.
Technically, the Headbangers, if they're still on the roster.
No, I think the Headbangers are done because the Headbangers were talking. Somebody from the Headbangers was talking about. Did an interview. Was talking about his time in WWE and everything like that. Ziggler should have super kicked Shinsuke to give him momentum. They would tear the house down. I don't think that's a good idea because that makes Shinsuke look bad. And Shinsuke is, even though for us who've watched him on NXT, who we think Shinsuke Nakamura is amazing, that's not smart because for the casual fan, the average 13-year-old that watches doesn't know who Shinsuke Nakamura is, will say, wow, this guy just got super kicked and just got destroyed. What's so special about him?
Right.
So that's where I don't think that's a good idea. They need, another thing they need to do is protect the Kinshasa. That is something they need to do. They did great with that at NXT. Do it here. and just let's just see what can happen. Like we've stated earlier, I do think that SmackDown is going to be. It did get the better end of this. So Raw, on the other hand, it kind of seems like they just got rid of people that could be big and stuff like that. Like the New Day were really doing nothing. Sami Zayn was doing nothing but putting people over. So we'll see. Like I said, I think tonight Sami should have taken the win. Byron annoyed me tonight once from saying the New Day will inject you with the power of positivity. He said it like a child. Yeah, like I said, that's probably the only thing about tonight with Byron Saxton that annoyed me. I'm so confused. Why is Randy Orton, a SmackDown superstar, is competing against Raw exclusive pay-per-views for the SmackDown Championship in a House of Whatever match? House of Horror. It makes no sense.
Well, the way that everything was worked out, like those matches were already set in stone. Same with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. But since the shakeup, you got one person going to a different brand. And I honestly think that the reason why they continued with it and why they continue to push it is because it makes more suspense, because you don't know whether or not they're going to decide to make a change of some kind and have the title go back to a different brand. The only title that we know will stay on no matter what, and we could say both of them, almost confidently, is the U.S. title, because what they said today is, as of right now, Kevin Owens is on SmackDown, but if Kevin Owens were to lose to Chris Jericho will then in turn go to SmackDown, and Kevin Owens go back to Raw.
I think the only one that's a for sure is that Chris Jericho loses. I do think that there's still a possibility that Bray is on SmackDown.
Yeah. I guess that's going to happen, though. Like, if Bray does win, Bray goes to SmackDown, and Orton goes to Raw.
Yeah. I would assume so. I think that'd be the best bet. I honestly and truthfully think that Orton should go to Raw. I mean, as much as it sucks to say, there's not really anything for him on the main roster, Like, is he going to go after a small title? No, it's Randy Orton. Bray has to lose. It's not like the Universal title could go to SmackDown. No, I think with that, again, I think that if Bray does win, that the title will stay at SmackDown. I do think that. I also think it's smart by WWE. Thinking about it, it is smart because that means that Brock will not have a match on Payback. So you'll have a title match, being that it's a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, so to speak. It also will be able to create storylines between SmackDown, because as of right now, there really isn't a storyline. So the stories will be able to be told throughout this. So it's actually not a bad idea for them to do that. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea. I mean, like I said, not only is it a suspense idea, but I don't know. It just it kind of, like you said, protects Brock Lesnar, and it gives you that extra title match that you're kind of wanting. It's like, all right, you're not going to get to see Brock Lesnar, but here you get to see Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt.
Jamie asks, why wasn't the landlord Roman Reigns? First off, it's God, not landlord.
The landlord.
Well, he could be a landlord. Yeah, that's true. He's landlord / God. Not drafted to SmackDown or superstar shake up to SmackDown. I don't know, or traded.
I honestly think
would
that
have loved to rent his yard. I will say this, and I'll let you go. I think they're working the injury angle. So what they're going to say is that what they could say is, we tried going after Roman, but he was injured, so we couldn't go after him. Something, along those lines. So I'm sure.
I think the second that they didn't bring AJ in was the second that you knew that Roman wasn't going anywhere.
That's absolutely true, because if you bring one big star, which one of your main stars from the show, you gotta unless you have somebody in mind to take over, you have to bring them back. So I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. Ty Dillinger looking good today, beating Aiden English, which it's sad to say that he's going to be a jobber now. I hate that for the guy.
Well, he's going back to that same old NXT routine that didn't get him over with the fans.
Well, I mean, there's nothing else for him. That's what sucks, is there really isn't anything for him. I mean, you get called up, and he wasn't a bad tag team. But, I mean, Simon Gotch, it's crazy. Simon Gotch thought he was bigger than AJ Styles.
Seriously? Is that what's going on there?
Well, Simon Gotch thought he he's basically a bully, and he thought that he was higher up than AJ Styles and people like that showed up after him. So and he would mess with them and things. So it finally he's gotten into a lot of fights. Needless to say.
Huh. How about that?
Yeah.
It's a shame for Aiden English though, because he kind of gets to fall out. That's what I hate about tag teams.
Aiden English was smart. He multiple times said, "I want out of this tag team." Multiple times has been on record saying that he does no longer wants to be a tag team with Aiden English because he knew just as well as us that if Aiden English was to mess up big time, or Simon Gotch was to mess up big time, Aiden English could be punished as well.
Right.
So it was good for Aiden English to just say, look, I'm done with him. Charlotte Flair debuting today on SmackDown. I think that's a good move. It still seems like the SmackDown roster's weak, but thinking about it again, Nikki Bella is going to miss a few months. You also have Summer Rae who could be lurking. The SmackDown roster could have a good possibility of being strong. So
I mean, I think moving Charlotte was the best move.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with them not moving Sasha down to SmackDown. I was surprised that she wasn't moved down to SmackDown. But really all you needed was one to go to SmackDown, and I feel like out of the three of them, they needed a strong heel, and that's Charlotte. Now, the only thing that worries me about Raw is the strong hair persona, because the only one over there is Alexa Bliss, in my opinion.
Well, Sasha
like
could
a
be
true strong
damn
heel.
good heel.
She could be, but as of right now, she's face.
Yeah, but she has to do it, so it's just a matter of time until she does it.
I mean, I think now they kind of confirmed that they're still standing behind the idea of Bayley Sasha somewhere down the road, probably SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Yeah, like I said, I would either save that up for, kind of have the Bayley versus Sasha 2 at the Barclays Center at SummerSlam, or wait until WrestleMania and do that. I think waiting until WrestleMania is kind of pushing it though.
Right, because people have been anticipating it for so long now.
Right. The whole night I was screaming, "Oh, ah, ooh, ah," and jerking my arm. Why wasn't Dillinger versus Corbin versus Sammy could be great? Yeah.
I think they're trying to protect Ty for now.
I know she's injured, but I thought Paige was. Oh, Paige is also should be cleared to wrestle this summer.
Oh wow, this summer. Wow, that's a lot earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good for her.
Charlotte convinces Becky to turn heel. That would be great. Becky right now is yeah. Becky could. I just don't think Becky's that special anymore. I really don't. I've never thought.
Well, what have they done with her lately that's really helped her kind of stay relevant? If you really think about it, what have they really done?
Well, they've tried, but she doesn't help herself. Jamie just said it best. She's boring. She's not entertaining at all.
I think she's entertaining. I just think that there's parts of her character that just aren't relatable.
No, I doubt that when Paige returns, Michael, that they're going to say that, because I think that'll kind of blow over. Kind of as if it already has, because you really don't hear it. I think it's kind of like it's blown over. There's no point in bringing that stuff up, especially if they do that. It'll be dumb. Becky and Dean win champion struggle. I don't know. I don't know about Dean going over to Raw. I'm just thinking about what's there for that title. I saw somebody tweet earlier tonight. SmackDown has done more for the U.S. Championship than Raw has since the draft. And sad to say, it's true. Like, if you think about it, since the
Yeah.
draft, what has been there for them? Absolutely
But
nothing.
the only thing that we realized is that maybe they're scrapping the idea of the faction, the
Yeah,
faction angle,
I think
because now they took Kevin Owens.
I'm kind of already over it. Well, I mean, we could see Chris Jericho win it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know though, because like Chris Jericho would have to lose it right away.
Assuming that's also assuming Chris Jericho isn't going to be a part of it anymore. Because he could.
Well, he's
not
stuck
do it.
around as long as he could,
Yeah.
and as much as I would love him to stay for a lot longer, he's got other commitments he's got to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Mojo Rawley defeats Jinder Mahal. I mean, poor old Jinder.
No surprise there.
I mean, and of course, Jinder Mahal has a beer thrown into his face by Rob Gronkowski, which I don't know why we're still pushing the Gronk angle. Just really boring, in my opinion. And then the Usos and American Alpha had a really good match. A match they should have had at WrestleMania. And of course, the Usos win. And again, I see nothing. I see nothing but the New Day coming out of that. New Day versus Usos. I would honestly and truthfully have the Usos just keep beating the New Day somehow.
Yeah, it'll add more credibility to them as a team. Now, is the whole New Day over, or is like just two of them over for now?
What's that?
Or is the entire New Day over?
Yes.
That's what I figured. Because I know Kofi's out with an injury right now.
Yeah, and I don't know where the injury is coming from, because Team 6-1 tour had one of their ACLs torn by the same thing that the Revival is doing. So I don't know if if that move that the Revival do to take superstars out is dangerous like it is, because I mean it's already messed people up. Like bad.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking allowing them to do that. Or if they think that it's controlled. I mean, like there's obviously some instances where it's a work. I thought it was a work for Kofi, but it looks as if it's actually a serious injury.
Yeah, it could be. Randy Orton beats Eric Rowan, ended in a no contest. That be it, with Bray Wyatt cutting a promo on Randy Orton, which was a very good promo. Eric Rowan just going to be a jobber, kind of like that they're allowing him to have his own music. Splitting him up from Bray Wyatt means that he'll be nothing once again.
Yeah, it'll be only a matter of time before they release him too.
Mm-hmm.
Did Luke Harper go to Raw, or is he still on SmackDown?
Still on SmackDown.
I think that's best for him at this point, because he's starting to branch out with his character, and it's actually starting to get really appealing.
Dean Ambrose kills any championship he gets. First United States Championship, he never defended it. Second Intercontinental Championship, had one good match, then just lost it. Third WWE Championship. Yeah, if Jericho stays longer, he will lose momentum. Very true. I think after his feud with Kevin Owens, he'll lose it. Very boring. Reign fourth Intercontinental. Very boring so far. Yeah, I think with this reign, him and Baron Corbin could have tore the house out. And I was very excited for that match. Probably that and the SmackDown Women's Championship was the two that.
Yeah, but they decided to scrap it. They decided to scrap it.
They should have also had a stipulation into that match, especially the way they were getting at each other backstage. There's no reason that there shouldn't have been a stipulation, no disqualification, anything in that matter to make that feud great.
And if they planned on getting rid of Dean Ambrose, they could have had a loser leaves SmackDown clause, and then he just shows up on Raw.
Mm-hmm. But all around,
and now we get like a left-off feud,
No holds bar would have made it better. Anything would have made it better.
Anything, yeah. Even a chairs match, and we hate the chairs match.
I don't know what you're talking about. You love it.
But I mean, yeah, it was an all-around good show. I mean, it's a lot better than Raw, which it seemed like it was 3 hours of setup.
Yeah, every time I watch SmackDown, I just think, wow, it's already almost over. Every time I watch SmackDown, that's what I think.
That's because it's only a 2-hour show. It's like by the time they get through their first promos, it's already half an hour into the show.
Right. We'll do one more thing, see if there's any news going around in the wrestling world. Finn Balor injured again last night, apparently.
No.
Uh-oh.
There's no way. There's no way.
It is being reported that Finn Balor suffered another injury during his match against Jinder Mahal. Mahal hit Balor with a few intense blows to the head, which caused him to suffer a concussion as a result of the match. WWE has yet to make an announcement on the injury. That could mean it's not serious, or the powers that have been no idea how long Balor will need to be recovered. So they are keeping this quiet for now. Depending on Finn's recovery time, the feud with Bray Wyatt could be postponed for some time. If not, the rivalry would likely need to be mostly on the microphone because Finn will be kept out of the ring for a few weeks or longer. WWE Payback is less than 3 weeks away, and WWE officials were likely hoping for Balor versus Wyatt to be a huge match on the card, but all of that will depend on the severity of Balor's injury. I will say that he did take some hardcore bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Corbin for Money in the Bank? Nah, I think Corbin needs to just win his own match. Him having Money in the Bank could hurt him.
Yeah. He just needs to win clean one of these days and just get a title for once. And I thought that's the direction they were going in, but they completely 180'd. Oh, did you see that article about Braun Strowman? How, quote-unquote, some fans feel that he went too far and want him fired from the company. So they petitioned to have Braun Strowman fired. I just thought that was hilarious.
Well, then
Of course, what we're talking about here are, the kids and the women who are, like, in love with Roman Reigns.
Then they got what WWE got what they wanted out of everything.
Exactly.
That's what WWE wants. They want you to hate Braun Strowman, and that's what they got. Does SmackDown only have the Money in the Bank this year? Yes, SmackDown's the only brand that has Money in the Bank. If I'm not mistaken, it's next month, isn't it?
It should be. It should be around this time of year, yeah.
No, it's not next month. It's going to be in June or July. I think it's July. Yeah.
Is it July?
Yeah.
Wow, that's late.
Because it's usually Payback, Extreme Rules, Battleground, then it's Money in the Bank, and then I think SummerSlam. No.
Yeah.
I think Money in the Bank's after. It was Battleground after Money in the Bank. Because I remember the tag team match between him and AJ, the Club versus Enzo and more. But I mean, at this point, we're rambling on, and last week us rambling on kind of, put us on a downhill. So I do think that is all going to do it for us today. Andrew, is there anything else you're wanting to say before we go?
No, just keep tuning in. We're going to keep pumping out some content. Hopefully keep you guys entertained all week.
I think that's a bit stupid. I think they should have have 4 from each brand to be in the Money in the Bank match. They could do that.
That's the way they did it before.
They could do that, but at the same time, for that to be the pay-per-view, to be a 2-brand pay-per-view, you're looking at a 4-hour show. And as of right now, out of all the long pay-per-views they've had, only one pay-per-view has been good, and that's WrestleMania.
Right.
Or let me rephrase that. The Royal Rumble was good too. I just give the Royal Rumble shit because of what happened. Like I really do hate on the Royal Rumble just because of one thing. The Royal Rumble was good too.
It was the Royal Rumble match, not the whole match. I would say the tail end of that match.
It was a really boring Royal Rumble. I mean, I don't want to review the Royal Rumble again, but it really was a boring Royal Rumble. Like, I was expecting so much to happen, and it just didn't happen. But, yeah, once again, I do think that's going to do it for us. Be sure to tune in later this week or in next week. Roman Reigns, ooh-ah. That's right. So, until next time, I'm Millie Carter with Andrew Bass. Peace out.